What is the heart of the season of Lent? We need to keep our focus when we begin the season of Lent. We cannot measure ourselves in terms of how much time we spend in prayer, how many good works we perform, because actually instead of conversion of heart, can lead us to be proud and self-righteous. This whole season of Lent, I have not eaten a small piece of chocolate. So we become more focused on achievements. But it's not about achievement. The season of Lent is about coming to the heart of reality. What is most important for us in life? I think that's a question that the season of Lent invites us. We are asked to strip ourselves of all our garments. Garments are what? They protect us, that give us a false security. So it's important, therefore, that during the season of Lent, I think the question that should drive us throughout this season is, what are those really essential things of life? And what are those essential things? It is our union with God that actually gives us peace. Is there a relationship with God when you pray? So prayer is not how many rosaries you said. This is how much you are engaged with God. So you should examine your prayer life, not the amount of exercises, but the intensity of your prayer, intensity of your relationship. So you can pray 1 decade of the rosary, but if it is really intense at 1 decade, you're really reflecting and deepening your reflection on God's love and mercy. So what is it that actually matters to us in life? It's our relationship with God. Because cut off from God, there is no basis. Something is missing. There's a vacuum. And we need to, therefore, recognize that God is the overarching reality of life. That's why we need to pray. Go back to the basics. The basic is relationship with God. The second basic is, of course, almsgiving. Almsgiving is important because, again, it's not a question of how much you give, and that is secondary. Almsgiving is, are you growing in love? Are you growing in compassion? Because a loving person, a compassionate person is always happy. But if you're always inward-looking about myself, then your life becomes very stifling and you don't go beyond yourself. It is when you learn to reach out to others, when you learn to feel with the people who are suffering, and then actually your horizon of life expands tremendously. It helps us to be more realistic about life. When we are just living in yourself and in your own world, you think that is the world. That is not the world. But when you bring the world of others into your own world, then you see the richness of life, the mystery of life, and the gratitude that we should have. And actually, when you embrace the worlds of people, then life becomes very interesting and very fulfilling. To know that you are part of this group of people and that they are part of you. Because actually, when people come to tell us their problems, it is not to say that they are the only ones having the problems. Actually, all of us have it in different capacity, different ways. Then when you are reaching out to other people in almsgiving, so on, when you feel their pain, feel their sorrow, feel their struggles, you begin to be more appreciative of life, and as you help them, you begin to see God in them. Are you having a relationship with the suffering? So any kind of giving comes from a certain kind of relationship. It cannot be mere giving. That's why sometimes if you give, there is no connection. It's just a sum of money given away. But there is no personal connection. But if there is a personal connection, actually your life changes. And then you begin to realize what is the real thing about life. It's about love. It's about gratitude. It's about relationship. It is that what makes him alive. All the other things, money, all these things, they're means, but they don't really give life. It's about relationship. And so too, when we talk about fasting, fasting is, again, not so much of mortification, got to, wow, this one cannot do, that one cannot do. Fasting is, again, a way in which we want to yearn for God. Fasting a way for us to be in touch with our brothers and sisters who are suffering. And this is the heart of Lent, which is going back to the essentials of life, which is relationship with God, relationship with brothers and sisters, and, of course, self-discipline. Because we need to be singular-minded, we need to be focused, and that fasting helps us to discipline ourselves so that we will never be led astray.